Hey love bugs, it's Roslynn back at you one more again. I hope everybody is doing blessed. I'm doing blessed and highly favored, and definitely hope the same for you. And if this is your first time stopping by my channel, much love to you and welcome. And to my returning subs, my grown, extended, beautiful family, as always, thank you so much for the love and support. It is truly, truly appreciated. So with that being said, much love to all. Namaste, love and blessings, love and light, and many blessings are definitely coming your way. And if you've been watching my videos for a while and have not already, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if you feel like you really can resonate with it, give it a thumbs up and share. It'll be greatly appreciated. So anybody's going through different things they're going through to get to, I'm sending so many blessings of upliftment for you to keep being persistent, not giving up on yourself, not sleeping on yourself. You know, the only thing is to fail is if you give up. So you keep going, push hard. And anybody coming in with nefarious vibes, I just don't have time for it no more. I'm just sending it right back, block, return to sender, many times followed. Except mine's gonna be for you to really just heal. Okay, this video is called Twin Flame 101. Heyokas, busting out of the prison of pain. Oh God, like as soon as I said that, my ears start itching. Like you've been going through, like my other video I just put out, it's like going through so many constant spiritual awakenings, and you're really playing tug of war with your former self is your new self. It's like it really feels like you know what you have to do, you know what you have to stop doing, you know how you have to change, you have to speak a certain way about yourself, you got to be very picky and being very selective about what energy and what surrounds you. It's like now it's getting to that point in time where you're seeing that you're very rare, you're very you're a special vessel, like you were placed here to really make cause a dent in the program. You're really doing that, and for you to be able to do that, we had to get out of that vibration of constantly always wanting to think about the past, of negativity. Jesus, trust me, I know, and it's just like I gotta get comfortable on this, because I already feel like this is gonna be one of them situations, that it's like kind of hard to talk about, but it's just like, like I said, I haven't been doing videos for a while. I said if I do a video, I really want to have something to really talk about, really have something to say, and it's just been a lot of soul searching, a lot of healing, and reflecting and doing all those different things. And it is just like making a promise to myself. It's just like I'm never going to sleep on myself. If there will be different times where I gotta pause, it's okay to pause. You're going through different things where it's like your past is really coming back, where it feels like it's haunting you, or you felt like hold up, take a pause for the cause. I forgave this, I let this go, and there may have been something else that you really thought that you were over, you really thought that you have healed from that, or there's a lot of traumatic things that took place in your life that you have dealt with so many. I very rarely meet people that did not have a drastic past. One hit with the traumatic bat in the ball, like forever. Like we've been on that center stage of playing on the baseball field, striking out all the time, going through so many different things, and it just makes you feel like I'm not deserving of love. Every time I meet people, it's like the happiness don't stay long, or my happiness is like it's a touch and go. And you're making these changes into your life to where if you're demanding that, like, life is going to give you lemons. It's up to you to make what you're going to make with that mess. There's a lot of times where you are not that person that was supported, that was encouraged, that was uplifted, didn't allow you to breathe any kind of success in your life, making you feel like you can't do this because of your sexual orientation, or how much money you got in the bank, or where you live at, or who It's just up to you where you want to change that path of where you are that visionary. You got so many of these things into your life, and you're like, no way, this cannot happen. I'm going through this and this and that, and you just never know. Are you going to allow yourself to give that chance to yourself to be able to follow, to see what this can be? This is miraculous. This is amazing. This is awesome, and I can't believe I could be able to do that with my life. But look at how things are right now. Look at my circumstances. Look at my situation, and it's just like you don't realize if it's something like, you're gonna be a CEO of some kind of corporation. It's not that you have went through certain things into your life that you really are very passionate about. Like, I don't want nobody to go through this. I don't want nobody to experience this. I'm trying to be that person that I needed at a certain time in my life, while I was really going through a pitfall of different things that was just really like life was ishing on me, where it was just like I was getting royally spiritually effed without going to dinner, no lubrication, nothing like that. You were just really going through some very hardship of your life. And it's like, I'm in that vibe now. Either these can be certain things that you can allow to manifest into your life to make some kind of good for it. Going through different things where if you really sit back, it just depends on if you're in that vibe of looking at the glass half full or half empty. Are you going to be an optimist or are you going to be a pessimist? This life can only allow you to discourage yourself or uplift you into something greater. It's just your choice. It's a choice of free will. And you're going through those different things. But if you were going to create something great, a lot of times you had to go through some very toxic things, or you had to go through some very trying things. You had to experience a lot of trauma that took place into your life. And it was like, how can I work with that? This makes me, I have a bad habit of being the saver person. I'm always trying to save somebody to do something. I'm always trying to add love towards something that's not adding love towards me. I picked the wrong people to be around, or these are the different things that we were magnetic towards, different things that we were at the time. But now you've gone through so many different painful situations in life, and you could be that type of person like, shoot, I'm fed up. I want my life to be greater than what it is. It's like I just keep going through the different things that's taking place in my life, and it's like I'm not growing. But it's just like, are you making that initial change in your life? Because a lot of times things can be so bad for so long. When things start calming down, that mess gets scary. I'm like, wait a minute. Nobody trying to trigger me today. Things are all going like I wanted it to. Oh my God, this is scary. How long this going to last? And it's just like, God don't want you to think about stuff like that. He's just like, life is going to be, there are going to be some days that's going to rain on you. Just really rain on the whole program you had made up today. And sometimes those different things are going to bring you out better than you thought you would. But it'll be at that time right now. It's like you're going through different things that you're really really having to get placed into action, where it's trying to prepare you, for a life that you could possibly have. But these are the different things. Even though God's going to tell you, okay, you're going to be a multimillionaire of a huge corporation where this is building legacy on top of legacy on top of legacy. You went through so much. This is going to heal the legacy that's here and the ones that haven't got here yet. You doing some power plays. A lot of power plays. Like, you were not, and I've said it before, you're not just healing from the things that you're going through in this era, but you're going through things that you have been trying to achieve since the beginning of time. Everything that you're dealing with right now is the same issues you had before. Whether it could be you didn't have faith in yourself, or you didn't let go of things. It was hard for you to forgive. It was hard for you to believe in yourself. It's just all these different things that you're going through. And it'll be just like, now, you done went through this a million times. You should learn this by now. Certain things feel like deja vu because you did it already. But you just don't remember. There's certain parts of our life, and I feel that way, that's been straight whitewashed down. Not whitewashed, but it was just like it was on a white canvas, and you done painted all these bright colors, and all of a sudden you couldn't see this view for a minute. You had to really, like, okay, God gave you this beautiful canvas, and made all these little different things up for you, and this was like, I'm telling you, this is how your life can be. And like, yeah, right. How can my life be this? This can be that. You can be this. And it's just like so many people. You can find so many CEOs or so many different people that are higher command of owning their different companies. And there's a lot of times it was just falling down the family, and they got blessed like that. But or other people had to go through their different things, and this is something they created from the ground up, just from going through the setbacks, just for having these created flaws where that you create flaws that end up being a big, huge blessing for you. It will be an accident that you did that creates a big blessing for you. And you're allowing yourself to, that prison pain is being open, is not locked. But we've been in that situation. I can say it myself, because there was so many times I went through so many bad things. That's all what I choose to focus on. Now it's just like, you prayed for you to be able to heal from these things, asking God for, to uplift my heart. My heart's heavy right now. I'm going through so many turmoils, and just being able to do that. And they always say time heals all wounds, and it do at times, but it's just up to you. Are you applying that healing for those wounds to get better with time? That's just up to us. Like, we cannot, like I said before, and you've heard me say it a while, you're not responsible of what took place to make you like this. If you went through this from childhood, this is something that, our family and generations normalized. Now it's at that point in life where you had to be that one that is going to overcome not all this, but this is like there was a family meeting amongst the ancestors and all that stuff that picked out who is going to be the right candidate for these situations. Like, anytime you've been picked to be anointed, the chosen one, 1044, warriors, Heyokas, all this stuff, you go through the worst of the worst. Like, when you are being challenged to the fullest, like, you have gone through some things that, people are like, are you okay? Like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just so used to jacked up stuff happening. But hey, win, lose, I'm like, pause. Do you understand how devastating this mess was? And it's just like, what can I do? I can change. There'll be a different thing where, I'm going to have my chance again. I put my fullest in this, and it flattened, and it just didn't come to nothing, but I got another idea. And there'll be different times that God will put these type of ills in your life, just to see, are you going to allow this one little hiccup that you really thought that was going to be huge, and it ended up turning into a flop, and this didn't really do for you like you thought you were. Like, this is going to lead to that beautiful canvas, God, that's painted up for you, and that beautiful scenery and background is showing you this could be your life. And not realizing God will put you through certain things where it will feel like it's unfair. You be ready to go off on God and tell him the worst of how you feel about him, about all the things you're going through. But the main thing, he makes you go through these different things just to see if I can get you to trust me. If I told you this could be your life, I ain't going to say, hey, boom, you're going to wake up and this is going to be your life. These are the different things that I'm wanting you to create within your life. And you're trying to understand, how am I going to be able to do this? You're saying that my life is going to be so much huge, so much bigger than I can actually just comprehend. And it's just like, you're going through things like, your reward is going to be sweet for all the trials and tribulations you're going through. You're about to be heavily compensated for all the BS that you're dealing with that you shouldn't really be dealing with. But these are the different bonus, these are bonus rounds that you're going through that where it really had to show you. And the things that has really broken me, any kind of a use that you've been through with the AB, any kind of use you've been with the AB, this could have really just made you, a lot of times not care about yourself. You just picked anybody to deal with. It was just like every time you come around, there was some kind of situation in your life. You become situation. Bump Mike from Jersey Shore, you become a whole situation. It'll be those different things. But a lot of times we don't realize this exact experience of what we've gone through that we might not be too proud of or whatever, this gives you that chance to say, am I going to give up on myself because this didn't work out the way I thought it was? It was like, you want God to laugh at you. You telling him your plans. He already know what you're about to do before you do it. And a lot of times he can destroy that plan before it destroys you. Or this can really be something that wasn't going to last. It was going to cost you big time. And these are those different things where, hey, this is something that is going to be very, it's going to be a lot for you. It's going to bring you a lot of growth. It's going to give you a lot of wisdom. It's going to take you somewhere where, this is something you want to share with other people. Like, hey, I went through this. I overcome this. I had addictions to this. Or, I was so comfortable and normalizing different things like this. And I mean, you really being transparent about it, not being, oh my gosh, how they gonna look at me? Only God can judge you. We have a bad habit as us as humans, judging people. Like, and I'm guilty of it myself, because it was just like, oh, if I went through this and this and that, please don't say that. And I had to be able to check myself like that. Don't ever put yourself in a situation where you say you did this if you've never been in a situation like that, because you don't know. You don't know. You can say, if I was in a situation, I would pray that I would do this and not do that. But don't judge somebody based off of other things that they did because they didn't do what you did. Because, you know, we watch movies and stuff like, I be one, like, you so stupid. Why are you going there? You just heard that thing way down there and down there. You about to go check on it. And you're going through all these different things. And it's just the content of this title. It made me think about the movie The Crow. The movie with Bill Skarsgård. I really love Bill Skarsgård. He really played this. And it was like, I think they said this movie was a flop. I watched that mess like 3 times back to back because it was that deep for me. And it's like now, I guess it's like, I don't know if it's just me. Y'all put it down in the comments if you do the same thing too. It'll be certain movies that'll catch your eye and be like, oh my God, I want to watch that. And then it'll be something that you're very drawn to, and you try to understand what's the subliminal on what I need to know coming from that. Because there's a lot of times when you're drawn to certain games, if you're a gamer, there's certain things even show you in games that you need to know about yourself. Certain books that you read, it gives subliminals on what you need to know within yourself, and it gives you a broader perspective about what you're going through. Because it's like with that, I'm not going to give out any spoilers, but it was just like me being an empath and I'm seeing different stuff, and I'm like, damn, I know that hurt. I was like, I don't know how he did that, but I know that hurt. Oh, you go, shit. Oh, but it was like the subliminal. It's about redemption. And that's why I got about that. He was really dealing with some painful things. You know, it was a very, I didn't think I was going to watch that because I was so hurt by the different situation that Brandon Lee went through. Because I was, I was in the 90s and stuff like that. And I remember at that time when they made that movie and that happened. And that was so tragic because, it was like he got taken out before his time. But it's neither here nor there. But I actually liked the movie that they did. I need to go back and rewatch the 95 or 96. But I don't know if I could watch it just because it was Brandon that went through all that stuff and everything. But just seeing that, and it brought tears to my eyes because it's just like this man is just, it's like life just screwed him. Like he just didn't really get anything good in life. And then when he finally got that, it was taken away. And so I can really resonate with those different things that you've gone through. It's like you can allow this pain that you have to just dismantle you and just make you out of a monster that you never intended to be, or you can go back and right your wrongs. Where it's wrong at, make it right. It'll just be like different things. You had to be able to do that, and it's not like verbatim you go take everybody out that did you wrong like that. But it'll be those times where you need to take your power back. You need to allow yourself to forgive those different things that took place in your life. And it's like, I had to keep being able to tell myself, why is it so hard for me to be able to forgive? It's because it felt like I was giving, people, giving them that, like I'm condoning being treated like that. It's like, no, I see how people connected to my situation that are older than me. And you were seeing where they're allowing what they went through as a child to affect somebody that didn't even cause this. You add pain in my life, and I had nothing to do with that. But since it was just like, everybody that's connected with that had some form of use with the AB in this situation from a parent not loving them. And then, when I actually got one that loves me, it was a trigger. Because it's like, nah, he can do all this except be with his child, and we be able to control that because that's the only thing that man wasn't able to do is be a father, and for that to happen and for somebody to be that screwed up that you would do that to somebody knowing good and well how that hurt and that pain ingested on you. It's like the people that are allowing themselves to be stuck into that situation of prison of pain where the door is clearly unlocked and halfway open. It's just a force of you walking out, but the truth, the choice and the truth of you walking out is being authentic. Being able to hold yourself accountable for things. Being able to know and admit I was wrong. Even though I know I have some hefty consequences for that. But at least I don't have to be going overboard on trying to keep something covered. Or, trying to pay all this money where it's breaking me to make sure somebody be quiet. There'll be so many different things that happen in my life where I can't allow that to break me anymore. I can allow this to let me see that I never want to be like that. This is where it got in tune with me, for me to heal with the abuse that I went through as a child, to where I allow myself to not be able to do that again if I have a second chance. Because it's like I've told people before, I normalized toxicity in my life because that's all I had. Anybody that was like, I went to their house and their parents were married and they weren't arguing, fussing and fighting, cutting a fool, doing stuff like that. And there's no disrespect towards my mom and her husband, but you know, that's what I was around. That's what I got exposed to. So when I seen normal stuff, that wasn't normal to me. And that was just like, you know, and that was what was really sad. I just couldn't, you know, be able to flow like that if I never experienced it or any of those things. But it was like I had to grow through stuff like where I had to really digest. You know, I was emotionally and mentally messing my kids up, you know. And these are different things because this is what I was taught. This is what was for me to, I had to believe this is what life is about. And you're just going through all these different things into life, and it's just like, dang, you know, I had to be able to live through this. I had to be able to go through this. I had, you know, and it was just like all those different things. But I say most importantly, I had to be able to allow myself to know I'm giving myself permission to no longer live in that pain anymore. I can't change what my family did to me. I can't change what my exes did to me, the things that I did to myself, I did to my children. But all I can do is say I want to be a better person. If I owned it up to it, you know, I apologize to my kids, ask my kids to forgive me, but I know that was their choice. Even if they didn't choose to, you know, I recognized what I was doing. It was just different things where, you know, I had to give myself a chin up, you know, and a pat on the back, because it's like a lot of times we can understand us as parents. You having to swallow your pride and your ego, even when you know you did something jacked up to your children, you know, in any kind of way. Like, mine was more mental and emotional. It wasn't nothing that goes further than that. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't not like that, but it was just more of what I was exposed to, what I was taught. You know, you try to do something different, you can't do something different if you never experienced that. But life, it was like, even if you never experienced it, you had that choice to be able to be better than what you were raised up in, what you've been exposed to, you know, how this made you act, how did it make you flow through life. Because it's like when I see how my children, it's like when I do get a connection with them like that, to be able to know something that's going on into life. You know, a lot of things that happen in their lives that I'm very proud of, and I'm glad that they did. But there's also a lot of things that they made, decisions that broke my heart for them. But I knew that was based off of me on the different things, you know. See, you know, I had no problem with, you know, owning up to those different things, because this is what growth is. You allow yourself to hold yourself accountable for those things, you know. And I said, like I told them, I can't make you forgive me. You know, I didn't get that apology in life. You know, I got it from my mom. And spiritually, I got it from my biological dad, too. But it was just like, he didn't need to do that, because I know our connection was based off of lies. I was told lies about him. He was told lies about me. So it was like, you know, there's no forgiveness there. The love is there, you know. It was just the fact is that we were caught up in different things that, you know, it was based off of other people's convenience. So it's just being able to learn and grow for that. You know, how am I going to be able to digest, you know, me knowing who my dad was the whole time and not know it's my dad, or even talk to him often and never not know that's my dad. And then just for him being a celebrity on top of that, I had to be able to digest a lot of these different things that had me having guilt trips on myself, where there is no way you should have felt guilt towards yourself. You didn't know. You know, you were told one thing, you would never think somebody would lie to you about your identity or who you were ever related to. And then it was like, those are the different things I had to be able to digest and not come unhinged about it. Then you gotta find out, okay, you had a trust fund, your dad done left you everything. Everybody done stole it. Everybody done took it. Everybody wanted to make sure you never got a taste of nothing. And you had to be able to say, that's your truth. Now what you gonna do about it? And you know the easy way, they go, oh yeah, about to be New Jersey headhunter, start stopping by everybody who had a contact with this situation and start knocking folks off. But like, no, these are the different things where you're going to learn your truth, even if this feels like it's about to take you out. You know, a lot of times our truth is not pretty. Things that we need to accept, this is what happened. You can make a change out of that, but you had to acknowledge this is what happened. I had to allow myself to feel hurt because I had every reason to be hurt. I had every way to be angry. I had every right to be angry because everybody knew about my life more than I did. I was a joke. It was something that was funny. You know, I had to go through all those different things. I had people put black magic on my kids that had my kids turn their back on me. And I had to be okay with that. You know, and that's not something you could be okay about that, but it's just fact is, these are the different things I had to go through, and I had to accept these are the different things. I've had prices over my head. I've had people trying to constantly take me out to make sure that truth never came out, and I had to be okay about that too. You know, and those are the different things that I had to be able to say, can you say that without getting angry? Can you say that about not taking that personal? Can you stand in your truth and be able to say that you know, this is your truth. This is what you're going through. This is what you had to really go through to overcome. Because it's just like, for me to be able to talk about that, universe wants you to be able to talk about it, but talk about it as a lesson you went through that you had to learn, where somebody can use your situation as a cheat sheet to be able to overcome what they're going through. Because it is like certain things I don't like talking about, but if spirit says it's okay to talk about that, you've overcome that, and you're working on yourself each and every day to have peace in a place where it's a constant war zone. I have to try to heal while people are trying to make sure I don't heal. Do you know how much power that is that you're investing in yourself? I'll be drained, but at least I can say I'm being drained because I'm allowing myself to use my energy to make peace with the things that people want me to stay focused on. They want me to stay focused on every bad, jacked up thing they have done to me, or different things they may have said about me, or how bad they made me look to other people because they didn't want to feel guilty about the things that they know they were doing, and they will be strongly judged. I had to be in those kind of vibrations where you can't tell everybody verbatim about what these people did. You can talk about what you went through and how you overcome it, but it'll be a time where it's going to show the proof in the pudding right there. You don't have to exit people out on saying how jacked up of a person they are, how they've been lying, have been doing this. It is just about to say, this is what my life is about. You know, I lost a parent. You know, I was adopted. You know, finding out, I always knew I had extra parents out there. You know, I used to tell my mom when 4 or 5 years old, God loved me so much, he gave me 2 daddies. You know, I was never really strongly spiritually connected to my mom because she didn't allow herself to do that. And I guess it's just because she knew she wouldn't be able to keep me, so she became very detached. You know, but I was always close with my dad, always close. You know, I never had, you know, even with them passing over and I got that gift to connect with people, I stay in constant contact with my dad's side of the family. If I'm not talking to my dad, I talk to my grandparents. You know, my great-grandmother, my great-grandfather, you know, my step-grandfather, but I call him, well, it's my extra grandfather, I'm going to call him step. But it's, you know, speaking to my baby brother, you know, different things like that where I'm blessed I can still, even if I didn't be able to meet them in the physical, they stand strong and protect me and love me, you know, from the other side. And I really feel like that is beautiful. You know, a lot of times we go through different things, it caused a big hiccup in our life. Like you were trying to be okay. You even had people say, get over it, or you need to heal from this. This is just like, this is killing you. This is draining you. And you're really trying to function. Like, how are you going to function with me knowing the truth about my life? And you never knew, like, there was a group of people that knew about your life. Like, you were water cooler talk. You know, you were the tea of the tea. Like, you can put Lipton and got daggone Greenleaf out of business with all the daggone mess that was going on in your life that you had no indication about. You were straight ignorant towards that. And then it's like when that truth is flapped on you, then you got to go through grief. You got to go through acceptance. You got to make sure that you really work on your emotions and not need bail money for the different things that you're going through when you find out. You know, it'll be just like, for real, the truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off. It'll be those different things to where I had to be able to heal. I have people working on me every day to make sure I don't heal, but I had to be able to stand in my power and say, whatever you got going on, Is you trying to block me from healing, which is very sad, where people don't want you to heal. They want you to think about everything that they did to you. And I said, no, I'm not going to run myself to the ground by focusing on different things that other people did to me. This is their character. This is not yours. You know, normal people don't go around destroying lives like that. This is something that got a personal vendetta about themselves and feeling entitled to, you know, everybody deserve it, but God, don't put it on me. Whatever I'm doing to you, I can do it, but you just can't do it back to me. You know, type of vibe. But with you standing in your power, when you know exactly what's been done, you don't know everything verbatim, point A to point B to point C, that has took place in your life, but you knew enough to make you move differently. Okay, every day you take a time out for yourself and take a little bit of your energy back. You don't know how detrimental that is, where people were getting comfortable. You are like that addictive energy. Like, you made people a habit. You are a habit to a lot of people, because they know if they can siphon off of you, they can get so many beautiful things, because you have that loving energy where it attracts a lot of things. Like, you got that green thumb for success. Like, if they would have allowed you to be the big beautiful person you are, and you didn't have to go through that right off the bat, you would probably be in a vibe where nothing can stop you. But now you at a situation where it could have been like that, because sometimes our thoughts go there, like, what if they would have did this or would do that, I'd have been that. But you know, we don't want to take away that knowledge, that hurt, that pain that we got from other people that tried to break us. You know, you take that and you use that as a wisdom, as experience. So if somebody come back around with that same mask on, you'll be able to identify that. You're getting that to that point in life where you're stopping collecting red flags. You're stop collecting red flags. You know, a lot of times we do things like, oh, they must have had a bad day, or they just really been going through some stuff. You know, we do go through that. A lot of times we don't even realize it. Sometimes we can get caught up in that moment, and we don't realize how we're deflecting that on people, and don't realize how that's hurting someone, or that's really draining some. But there's a lot of people out here that knows exactly what they're doing, and they trying to siphon off of people. I mean, you're finding out about this. When you start dropping that illusion mask, you start seeing you are trauma bonding with a lot of people. They're in that codependency issue. They keep on being comfortable and doing repetitive cycles of toxicity because they don't want to move anywhere past that. They don't, you know, you're going through all those things where you are moving unapologetically. You're not dimming your light for nobody. You know, you are irritation. When you walk in the door where somebody just irritated just by the presence of you, you are either a threat, or you are somebody they want, or you got something that they want, or you are a person that they wish they could be. You are just, you're walking karma. You're walking intimidation, especially when you allow yourself to say, oh, I went through all this. This is what I went through. But I've been very persistent on becoming a better person from behind this. I'm not proving nothing to my enemies. This is all about showing myself, because you ain't got to prove nothing to them. Because anytime you got an enemy, there's nothing worse than somebody watching every little single thing you do and they still can't stand you. That's a mental issue. People watch everything you do because they're curious. You know, you get that vibe, like people are really trying to know what you're doing, point A to point B to point D. They want to know your moves so I can see where they can block you at. You know, there'll be a lot of times you got to be careful. A listening ear is also a running mouth. You got to really be careful. Now there's a lot of things, like there's certain things you want to be able to, put out there, post out there, because of different things in your life that you're achieving, you're happy. But there's a lot of times you got to understand, there's a lot of people out here that's not happy for you. There's a lot of people that don't want to see you grow. There's a lot of people you want to take to the top that didn't want to see you on top. I got people that want to ask me different things just so they know where to hit at. So, she moving on. She a little bit too quiet. She ain't taking it personal no more. I start seeing different things, and it's like, am I going to even put myself in a situation where I know this is going to have me on 10 and not in a good way either? No, I ain't about to do that. But it'll be like, curiosity is not killing the cat for me. It'll be just certain things where I already know this is going to get me peeved. So I don't even allow myself to invest in that. Or I see this is like a waste of my time. I'm not about to deal with that. Or this is the same thing I had to go through that's going to delay me or distract me. I'm not about to deal with that. You were going through so many different things, like you had to be able to go through this. If you want to be able to grow, God got to have you to have access to every kind of spirit that you know you need to stay away from. And for you to be able to go through that, you had to experience these different things with these setbacks and these karmic ass people. And there's just people that just want to just siphon off of everybody. They're the only type of people that can be happy. Nobody can be happy but them. Like, they got to be the only star in the sky. You know, those are the type of people, they can have everything and still not be happy, because it's not coming from within. They're trying to take little stuff. I mean, it's a blessing to be able to live comfortable, you know, be able to have money, have fancy cars, fancy houses, go on extravagant, you know, vacations and stuff like that, keeping up with the Joneses. But a lot of times, are you willing to do some drastic stuff? Like, this not even really cute if you really told people how you did that, you know. You want to be able to say, I worked hard, I did it. Anything that I've earned, I worked hard for it. Because people work too hard on trying to make sure I didn't have it and make sure that I had no access to it. So anything that came into me is something I earned. And these are the different things that I went through in life where, you know, I can speak on certain things, but certain things, I'm just not going to death about it. You know, I had to be able to have that vibe where if I know I'm speaking authentically, I ain't got to worry about no enemies trying to, you know, God, you know, I had to be in that vibe like, oh, I'm going to say something and somebody going to try to use this mess against me, because they work. It's sad. I got people that watch my videos constantly just to see where they can try to block something in my life from. And that's sad. There's so many people, you got people in your life that's so busy trying to focus on destroying your life, you don't realize so much stuff is going on. All hell about to break loose in their life, but they don't even see it coming because they so focused on you. And you keep being focused on you while everybody else is focused on you, because they trying to understand. You don't realize they may hate you, but you're very inspiring. You are very inspiring. You know, you have to be able to know that. You want to have people that are going to be out here defaming your character and everything. You be the false prophet. You know, you dabbling in some darkness, when this is actually a spiritual gift for you. This comes natural to you. These are becoming more natural for you when you're going through different things that you're laying aside. You know, when you're not focusing on everything that other people are doing. It's a lot of times it's hard to do that, you know, because I'll be looking at my situation. I'll say even the most patient person would have already came unhinged dealing with the things that I have to deal with on a daily basis. But then I had to give myself that props. So you're standing in your power. Because there's a lot of things that take place in your life you ain't even giving no kind of spotlight to. You're not. But then you're allowing yourself, when you speak on your videos, you're telling people, you know, I had to struggle with that. There was a lot of things that I had to really make peace with that was hard for me to make peace with, because I never had an explanation or apology or somebody just owning their ish. You know, I didn't have that. But now it's at the point in my life, you ain't going to never get that. If that person ain't gave it to you right now, they're not going to give it to you. And if it does happen, it's real quick. A lot of times it's like either people can be very generally feel bad for the stuff that they did to you, and they come back to you and tell you, hey, you know, I really did some really idiot stuff to you, you know, and I really want to apologize about that. I know you have every right to not forgive me, but I hope you can find it in your way to forgive me. That is a real person right there, when they can own up. You know, what are you sorry about? Because, you know, if you don't cause a whole bunch of confusion in somebody's life and you say, I'm sorry, what are you sorry? We already established that. But what kind of sorry are you? What kind of, you know, what are you apologizing for? But there's a lot of times where people are just sorry they got caught. You know, they just really sorry they got caught. When you get to that point in life where you've been so, you know, you've been that type of person that it was easily manipulated. Because I had that kind of mindset. I feel like if I'm not going out my way to hurt anybody, or I'm not jealous of anybody, I'm not doing this, I'm expecting that same in return. No, life got real for me real quick. Just because of the connections and who you connected to like that has been a very bad trigger for a long time. And that's going to understand all the constant drama that was brought into your life. People always trying to keep shit going in your life. You're going to go through that. I went through a lot of that. And then it understood, oh, this is more about them and less about me. You know, because they already know. It's like anything. And I had to be, and the way my mindset was, for me to really make sense of this, is like when I seen what my dad was capable of and how much influence these had on so many individuals. You just think about you procreate and get another person like that, and another and another. They can't have another person like that. Even with him dead and gone, people keep breathing on him like he's still here. That spirit is still here. This man has touched a lot of hearts in this world. His music has just uplifted many people, including myself. And it really hit deep for me, especially when I know there was ones that was made about me, and those are the things that keep me going. These are the different things that helps me heal when I see how he's impacted so many lives. But it's like when you see people that's connected to that, I see how his name is associated with people want to put that out on internet. You want to connect with that, and you feel like the only way they can pay attention to you is if you bring up who this connects to, or you need to bring out something bad or whatever, but you still see how he is an influence on so many different people, how his music has helped people see their lives in a whole different way. I mean, that's just a blessing that a person can be. And you still got family over here hating on you about how people love you. They hate how people love you. And it's just for him to be able to create something like that. Like, I was the first, and I always feel like the first kid to a parent is the most potent one. Either that's going to be something very good and magical, or this is going to be some detrimental hell chaos type stuff. It can be either or. But this man blew up, and it's just like, anytime you go somewhere, or different pictures I see on the internet, somebody made a mural about him. Name this stuff after him. Got this after him. We got fan clubs for this. And that's a beautiful thing. Like, you are not allowing his name, what he stood by, to die. You are allowing that to even live on, even if this man is not seeing it, and he loves that. You don't realize how God will use certain things that's very tragic in life, and especially if it hits in an impact where it's taking a ripple effect through the whole world. You don't realize how death can bring people together. You're trying to, it made me think about my dad. It also makes me think about Kobe and the 7 others that was on there, the 8 others that was on the plane. Their lives are important too, but a lot of times they only bring up Gianna and Kobe, and this, these other people lost lives too. Everybody did, and it took something that was that hurtful and that sad and that heartbreak. And the beautiful thing is you're seeing how people are total strangers are just linking up, hugging people. You know why that person's crying, because they feeling that just the way you do. When that day happened, like, I couldn't do videos for a couple of days because it was like, that was a whole different story right there. I ain't bringing that up, but that was enough by itself. But just to see people on the internet where you just seeing people just crying, and you just seeing people just walking up in the airports, and they're hearing the news, and people are just hugging people just because of what that man, those people, really meant to them. What kind of joy that they brought into that life just for being who they are. And you never know, you can be that part of that legacy where you're going to really make a dent in the program, just like these great legends they have passed on in life. You could be that one. And you never know where your life can really blossom into if you give it a chance. And it's hard to do that when things just keep failing and failing. It just feel like all hell break loose into your life. And you're trying to understand, how can I be able to build up on something like that when there's so much disaster in my life? And that's the exact thing. You need to have this. Is dismantling everything that you thought was true about yourself, true about your life, is changing. So it's like we don't take instant when we know there's change coming. Change ripple effect, especially if you're going through a huge transformation. You're going through that phoenix that's hitting the, that's actually touching the sun. That's how hot you are. I'm not even past the ashes, baby. You hitting the sun. And it's reflecting in every way. Just because you allowed yourself to be instead of being in that prison of pain, you're being that prosperous of positivity. You're ascending. Even though you go through different things in life, this is life. It brings you that. It brings you lemons, and it also brings you strawberry and kiwis. It's just up, because be sour one minute and be sweet the next. But when you're allowing yourself to really go through different things into your life that really just hits you in a certain way, where it brings devastation, nervous breakdowns back to back. I went through those things, not wanting to live anymore because the pain became great. You just don't know. You really just don't know what you can possibly overcome if you give yourself that chance. And it is a lot of times we got to give our own self that pep talk. It's like, what did you really want in life? that you really put your all into, all your power, all your love, all your attention to it, and you wanted this that bad. This has to be like that moment that's amplified, because this is going to be a different thing that's going to rearrange your life in so many ways that you wouldn't, you aren't going to be able to comprehend what kind of blessings you're going through just from what you dealt with and you overcome. Yeah, you're not going through this for no reason. A lot of times it just be feeling like God punishing us. No, he's preparing you. It may feel like I'm lonely, but he had to take people out of your life that's no longer serving you. You had to take people out of your life that was speaking ill will on you. It really was trapping you up in different ways. People's trapping you, and they falling in their trap. They trying to wonder why they can wish all the bad ill will on you, and you're still in your peace. Why is they not upset? Why are they just calm? It's just because the fact is, what can I do? What is it going to solve for me stressing? The way am I stressing? Is it going to make my situation any better? It is just going to overnight click. God knows. Miracles happen every day. You might be going through some very unruly-ish right now. You're going through some stuff that is not fair. You're going through different things that may feel like the people that did something is the ones just, that's just going to keep flourishing like that. Different opportunities done passed you by. There'll be different things people don't want you to have. But even though you don't work hard, you don't earn that. But it's just at that point in life where you're going to get to that point, like, nobody can't dictate what God got for you. Nobody can't do that. Nobody can't take what God got for you. This is only for you and you only. It may delay a little bit. It ain't being denied, but you had to go through a lot of things to be able to get towards this. Because it's like when God hands you, I see it like if God hands you a precious blessing, that I'm going to give you this blessing. And this blessing is just not going to bless you, but it's going to be so many other people that's going to get a blessing off of this. But I had to put you through some different changes in life, where it humbled you. You don't never feel like you're better than anybody. You're not in competition with nobody except yourself. Whatever you were straggling with yesterday, that's going to be an ultimate come up for you today. You are not in competition with anybody. Even when people put you in that competition, you in competition with yourself. People want to get on that competition with them, they be playing that mess by themselves. I'm focused on me. You focused on me. But that's not going to stop me from losing focus on what is important into my life. You getting to that point in your life, a lot of times you're ready to give up because things just feel like it's not working. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. It's a lot of times it gotta look like that. Because if we, that's where faith comes in. I have to be able to remind myself. It is like faith is not by sight, not by hearing different things, but be different things that's trying to get your attention. You're dealing heavy with a lot of angelic numbers. 333, 222, 111, 999, especially 888, 999. Everything's tying together. Different things, or it's going to change drastically in your life that you are really trying to get prepared for. You always have to, even when things are getting bad and it just really seems like the enemy is winning, I have to always remind myself, when you move in good intentions, you're going to always win. When you're doing things that is on you, you pushing good out, there's always going to be some blessings hidden in that. Even when a lot of times it's like, you be pushing out something good, but then you had to go through something else. It's like 144 on that. You're going to go through these different things in life, and it just really teaches you, and it really grows you. But it has to be that choice. Are you going to allow these things to succumb you, or are you going to allow this to be your demise? Or are you going to allow this to use the tool to become a better person? Are you going to allow yourself to really be appreciating the fact that, you went through these different things, so it can warn you about different people that are taking advantage, that are manipulating, that are toxic, that are trying to trauma bond, they're trying to siphon, they're trying to steal your destiny. You got these mirror monitors and all those other different things that took place into your life. Well, if you didn't know, I'm about to bring some beautiful stuff into your life where this is going to just blossom, and it's going to keep on blossoming. But before I can allow you to get to that, I need you to get to every one of these people that really show you that they're not right for you. I'm going to really allow you to see how people truly mean to you and what you are a priority into their life, where they're going to be that person like, hey, you've been there for me through thick and thin. You had my back when I didn't have my back. So now when you're in this situation, I want to go ahead and start giving that to you, because you're going to start seeing a lot of people that you went out of bat for, that you didn't have to, but it was something that you did because it's the kindness of your heart. That's how you are. That's how you move. That's how you operate. But then you start going through that. You had to see is everything that you did, and it'll be for those certain people. God will allow you to be in certain situations where you were for this person and you really went to bat for them. Now when the shoe is on the other foot, now is you going through maybe the same kind of thing or even worse. Is that person giving you that same kind of due diligence that you did in their life? Are they going to be there to support you? You know, you really had to go through those different things. So if there's something good that's coming into your life, you want to make sure that you're connected with something that's not going to hinder you, or this going to just mess up your whole blessing, or these people going to try to go ahead and, you know, hoodwink you and take your stuff and you're going to run. These are the different things I had to have you go through so I can really show you the true intentions about how people care about you. It's like you're not doing things to do stuff just to get something back. You know, I've told people I'll do this, but you know, it's like, I want to have it in good. I'm like, no, it's just look out for a sister. You know, when you get to that point where you've been blessed at, look out for me. You know, like I look out for you, and I'll leave it there and let it go wherever it is. So it's like when that came up again, you know, that probably came up with what I said, just like you would have said. But did that person do it? It depended on who the person was. That person, you know, you have one person that you really could have let them stay on your couch. You know, when they got put out or they went through this, next you know, that person may have won the lottery and make you pay some, you know, in their blessing on where you blessed them when nobody else did. Everybody turned their back on them, you know. And next, you know, some blessings, some hidden blessings came into your life in that exact moment when they thought about you. And they made sure you were the first one they went to go bless, because it's like, you know, that person was there for me when nobody was. This person, you know, they wanted to go, they were going to go to the casino or go buy these new shoes or go buy this. But then next, you know, I told them I was going through this, and they took that money and gave it to me because I was lacking on gas, or, you know, my kids didn't have any food, or I didn't have any food, and that person did that for me, you know. Now, when you come into that situation, that person come into that and got a blessing, then their test came up. Are you going to remember the people that had your back? Or you going to be acting like your ish don't stink, it smell like roses? You know, you ain't going to know nobody. You think you're better than everybody. And you going to, you know, or you going to be all up in your head like that. Like you going to forget where you came from. Everybody else that ain't on that vibe with you, are you going to be looking like they, you know, you better than them because you want a better spot? Or you going to have somebody that's going to be really humble and remember those bad days when they didn't have anything. Remember the people that was there for them, you know, and they did that kindness. So it's like when those blessings come, God wants to make sure you don't forget those exact people that was there for you when stuff got really bad. And I mean very continual. Like, no, it's not always financial. It's just you may need somebody just to listen to you, or just give you some guidance, or just even understand. Because a lot of times people don't even want to hear what you got to say. They just want people to listen to them. And you're going through all these different changes in life. And there's going to be a time in your life where you're going to really look at it and remember the lowest moment you were, and the thoughts of you never being able to recover over whatever that was that really just shook you to the core. And you just really didn't understand how you're going to move past that. How can you be able to digest that? All these different things. And it's going to be at that point where you're going to thank God. Thank God for showing me who was there for me. Because this blessing right here, oh, they would have took me for everything I got, and they didn't care about me. It was all about them trying to siphon off of me. They see you, you know, a lot of times people see a good heart as an idiot. You a dumbass. So I can go ahead and manipulate you and get what I want and be able to do that. There's a lot of times where manipulating people will see us as simps. That's not a weakness for us. That's the greatest strength you can ever have, is be a person that thinks outside of themselves. That's a strength. Being selfish is a weakness. I really feel that way. It really is. When you can, you know, it's okay when that person needed you, you needed them. But now when it's on the other foot, they don't give you that. And that can be very hurtful. But then you had to really see how this person is. You weren't like that because that's not your belief system. That's not how you roll. But then it'll be at that time where you needed exactly to see how that person is. Don't worry. They may be on top, but if it be those ones that take that mess for granted, God has no problem with snatching that mess away. Like, oh, I gave you that blessing and this is what you do with it. You know, I gave you this amount of money and this is what you do with it. Or I brought this man into your life and this is what you do with it. Or I brought this woman of your life that you always pray for and this is what you do with it. Okay. God, you would see how people done made it far up and how God done smacked them back down. You're looking at all the different stuff that's going around today and see how God sent up here giving people their licks back. People sit up here watching the karma. There were a lot of people that you done did wrong. And now they see you put on blast and somebody finally calling you out for it. Now you got to sit up here and be atoned for it. You know, and there'll be those different things. But, you know, it's like God don't want you to think like that. Even though, you know, that's how it usually goes. It usually goes that way. But you're going to appreciate that. To know you're a good person. Don't ever deny or ever resent being kind to somebody. That's a beautiful gift that many people should have in this world. That you're doing something outside of just for self. Like, you know, you got to be selfish at times because a lot of times we're really giving. And there'll be sometimes you need to stop. You need to put that on pause. You know, got to put it on pause. But it's just like you're going through that reflection on showing you this is what you really had to go through. I need you to go through these lessons so you will know the difference from people being authentic with you and somebody being real fake and they're trying to benefit off of you. It's beneficial, you know, because you're that type of magnet that you're very, I mean, you make things turn into gold if you really want it to. If you really put your mind to it, there's a lot of magical stuff that can come out of you like that. And a lot of people see that. There will be a lot of times where people, it will really make you feel like your dreams can never happen. There'll be people that'll be like, no, look, true love is not for you. It's not in the books for you, boo-boo. Cleo didn't say it was coming and it's not coming. But I feel like anything good is coming into your life when you know you're loving yourself. I mean, really loving yourself and you're holding tight to your boundaries and you are not allowing nobody to overstep that. No mean no, I ain't got to explain nothing to you. No. You know, you don't want to be people in their life and you see it starting to wreak havoc in your life where this is not worth it anymore. You know, even though you could be benefiting off of something, but is this really worth you trying to get whatever you got to get? Is this toxic is what you want to try to deal with, hold on tight to something because this is something that you feel like you need at the time? Because a lot of times I had to come up to the point where I said I had to sacrifice. There's a lot of times I got to just sacrifice and be okay with not having. Because it's just like, you know, there was a lot of times it was like certain connections where you would really pay for it. If you really, you know, you need a favor, you need to ask something, you really paying for it somewhere down the line. And there'll be at that point where it just taught me, where some days I'm going to have to go without. I'm going to have to be okay. Even when it's hard, you know, this is something where you're doing something very uncomfortable. You're okay with not having at that time. You can't always have it all the time. But when God puts us in certain situations and predicaments just to see, are we going to find the healthy, organic way of doing things, or we are not going to be real to ourselves and we're going to try to find the easiest way out? You know, because usually when you cut cords, I mean, like I said, the blessing can come in, but it's not something permanent. It was just something for that moment. These will be certain things where he's making you do the right thing for yourself. So these can be something that keeps flowing through you, but you had to go through these situations to be able to do that. Believe in yourself, knowing that nobody can block anything that God got for you except God and yourself. That's the only people that can block that. Nobody else can do anything like that. Anybody connects with you and is bringing something bad into your life, is because there's lessons you need to learn. There's different things you learn about your person, the situation, as well as within yourself. So these are the growth that's taking you towards bigger and better. It's just us being able to have to believe that. So I hope you were able to resonate with the content of this video. Y'all, love y'all. Thank y'all so much for the support. Who's still with me? I know I ain't really been making videos lately, but I said if I really don't have nothing to say, I was just not going to say anything. You know, I'm just saying to myself. But, you know, be certain things don't got it to be able to talk about that, you know, I love to be able to share, just to be able to let people know, hey, I resonate with your hardships. You know, we all going through it some kind of way, you know, but don't sleep on yourself. Don't give up on yourself, because I sure ain't. You know, just take it one day at a time. You know, there going to be days that's going to bring you lemons, and some days going to bring you strawberries, and, you know, I had to emphasize on the strawberries, you know, and kiwi. It'd be one of those different things, but, you know, we can still make it through. You know, we still make it through. It's always another day. So, much love to you. Shalom. Namaste. God bless, I say. And, You know, if you would like to donate to the channel as well, you know, Cash App and everything is in the description box below. If you want to email me, description, you know, information is in the description box below the video. And you'll see me on my next video. Please be responsible and kind of everything that you are doing, even if you send out love, light, you know, within frequency, words, you know, anything energetic, blessings towards anybody, as well as you giving to me, is truly appreciated. And just for doing it for other people, it's going to really take you a long way, just like it took them. So you see me on my next video. Much love to you. Stay blessed. Peace.